Now our tab mode deployment is going to be started. Now our tab mode deployment is going to start. Once again, I'm going to let you know, you guys, okay, I haven't do any tab mode configuration. I just perform assigning the IP addresses on this particular interface, like the WAN interface and this LAN interface. Then in this particular router, after we configure the IP assignment, like the basic configuration, then we created the access list 10. Then we configure the PAT, port address translation, right? So that we are able to reach. Even we configured this one, like the default route towards our ISP, gateway, This is what the configuration we done here in the office router. Then we assign the IP addresses, IP, subnet and gateway here as well, here IP, subnet and gateway. Then we try to reach the internet, right? So our LAN machines, our LAN users are able to reach the our LAN users are able to reach the internet. So they are able to reach the internet from both the sides. Now, so whatever the traffic, this is whatever existing infrastructure. So now you are going to place your firewall here, and you need to be monitor the traffic. For that, what we require? For that, we are going to be we are going to deploy this firewall as a tab mode. So to deploy the Palo Alto Firewall, this particular interface, okay, I need to configure the span, right? So this interfaces we are going to configure. As a span source port, and this interface will become the span destination port. So now let me minimize this. So everything is in place, right? So I'll configure here in the switch this Ethernet 0/0 and Ethernet. Either you can test as a one interface also, okay, you can test on the multiple interfaces, okay. You can consider this interface as a span source port. So whatever the traffic is initiated from here, that traffic, one copy has to be go to this span destination port. You can configure like this, or else I'll do one thing. I'll configure these 3 ports as a source and this as a destination, so that you will get the good understanding. Let me open the switch. Okay, so this is my switch. Enable. Configure terminal. So to show run pipe section monitor. We don't have any like span configuration, guys. We don't have any span configuration. So once we're done, right, I'll show you again how we are going to be. Okay. So the very first command is to configure the span. So monitor session. So we need to give the number of the session. So I'll call as a 10, monitor session 10. So what is the source interface? The source interface, in our example, the source interface is what? Ethernet 0/0, Ethernet 0/1 and Ethernet 0/3, right? So I'll call as a source interface Ethernet 0/0, right? Then so what you need to be captured, either the monitor only the received traffic or the transmitted traffic. So I need both as well. So we need to call here both. Just hit enter. So we configured only for Ethernet 0/0. The same thing I'm going to configure for Ethernet 0/1, because it is also a source port, right? 0/1, enter, and 0/3 as well. So this ports, as we discussed, so this is our source port. Now we need to configure as a destination port, as a span destination port, Ethernet 0/2. Again same thing, monitor session 10. This time destination interface is Ethernet 0/2. Enter. Oh, sorry, yeah, Ethernet 0/2. Yeah, that's it. Ethernet 0/2. If you check now, show run pipe section monitor. you'll see here. So there are two sessions, right? So we configured Ethernet 0/0, Ethernet 0/1 and Ethernet 0/3 as a source port, and destination port is Ethernet 0/2. So here, whatever the traffic will initiate from here, from this machines, this source ports, these two ports we configured as a source, and even this port also we configured as a source span port, and this interface we configured as a destination span port. So whatever the traffic once the traffic is initiated from this machines, right? Once the traffic is initiated from this machines, it will hit to the switch. That same frame, a copy of frame used to be sent to the firewall as well, and it will go from to the internet. So this is how it is going to be work actually. So if you check now in the Palo Alto Firewall, you will not see any traffic. If you check now in the Palo Alto Firewall, you will not see any traffic. We done only this configuration. This respective interface we need to configure as a tab as well, right? So once you configure the tab and the security policy, then you will see here. In the Palo Alto Firewall, what we need to do in the PA box, Ethernet 1/1, this we need to set up as a tab. Okay. Then this is the first task. The second task, we need to configure the security policy. So when we are going to configure the security policies, right, we have two types of policies, right? Intrazone and interzone policy, right? Intrazone and interzone policy. Here we don't have any other zone, we have only one zone, so we are going to call as a intrazone. We are going to call as a, like I'm going to call here, like when I'm going to configure the policy, right, I'll show you. Okay, I'll go to call as a intrazone, so that the same zone. Intrazone means what? The same zone, right? Same zone. Interzone means different zone. So let me access the Palo Alto Firewall. You will get to know what exactly we are going to be discuss here. So Palo Alto box is this. I think I have the access. Let me hit this. Okay. As we discussed, we have this one, right? The username and password. Username is admin and the password is capital ADMIN@123. So I already changed the password. ADMIN@123. Just hit enter. So it is going to create the administration session for you. So we are in the Palo Alto dashboard. It's going to remind us, so welcome to the PAN OS tree. Okay, so when you are working on the Cisco's devices, right, it is going to be show you as a Cisco iOS, but here in the Palo Alto it's a PAN OS. Okay, remind this point. So as per our plan, what we need to do now? We need to configure Palo Alto's interface, Palo Alto Firewall's interface, which is connected toward the switch as a destination interface, Ethernet 1/1, that we need to configure as a tab interface. So I'll go here, network, and the interface. Which interface? Ethernet 1/1. I'll mention the comment also, the tab interface, or else I can mention tab destination port, destination span port connected to a switch. Okay. So interface type. In the interface type you will get here. So we already done the layer 2 type of deployment. So today we are doing the tab mode, right? So select the interface type is tab. Okay. Now we need to call as a security zone. So we don't have a security zone. So let me hit OK here. So first go to the zone, add tab-zone. That's it, tab-zone. Click OK. Now again, if I go here, right, in the interfaces, Ethernet 1/1, you will see here in the security zone, tab zone which we created, just hit OK. So we assign this particular interface as a tab, right? So as we discuss once again, okay. So this particular interface we configured as a tab. We created the zone and Ethernet 1/1 we map with that particular zone. Now we need to configure the security policy as well. Security policy as well. So while we are creating the security policy, okay, I'll show you something. It is a bit different, okay, compared to the layer 2. Layer 2 in the when we are configuring layer 2, right? So there we call like layer 2 zone, which is the layer 2 zone and the layer the source interface, destination interface. Here I don't require any configuration, any respective source and destination zone. I'll finish within one policy. See here, I'm in the policies, security policy, and add. Click on add. So you can mention here any name. Okay. So I'm going to mention tab hyphen monitor policy. Okay. So the here I'm going to change the rule type. Universal means it's a both inter and intra. It is going to create the source and destination zone in the same time. But here when I call to the intra zone, because it is the same zone, right? I am calling just intra zone, same zone. So I just need to select the source zone only. What is the source zone? Tab zone, and source address is any, source users are any, and the source devices can be any. But destination, see, I don't have any option to select because it's a same zone policy. So that's why I called it there in the source zone. The rule type is as a intra zone. Now the application could be any, service could be any, and action is allowed. Log the session when the session is started and log the session when the session is ended. And one more thing, guys. So I mentioned here, right? In my notes, I mentioned there something. See here, the Palo Alto Firewall. Okay, when we are going to deploy in the tab mode, right? It is going to be monitor, right? It is going to be monitor. There it is, the exactly point. See here, visibility, network visibility, passing passively. It allows you to passively monitor of the network traffic for visibility into the application users and potential threats, right? Impacting to the without impacting or disturbing to the existing network. To do this, to monitor this, we need to apply some profiles as well. We need to apply the profiles as well. We have some default profiles. As of now, we'll go with the default profiles. See here, there is a profile type. There is a none, right? Just click on the profiles. You will get this many of profiles: antivirus profile, vulnerability protection, anti-spyware, URL filtering, file blocking, data filtering, wildfire analysis. So in antivirus profile, I'll go with the default one. Vulnerability as well, default one. Application, strict. URL filtering, default. File blocking, basic file blocking things. Data filtering, none. URL filtering, default. I'll show you why I call all the default on these things, because we don't have a license, right? If you have a license, then only you can do this all the things. Customize policy. So once I save here, right, click OK and commit, it is going to throw the error, but it is going to save the configuration. It is going to save the configuration, but still for the profiles, it is going to throw the errors. I'll show you that error, what exactly. Come on. Yeah, 55. Result is still pending. Okay, it is going to be saved, committing the configuration. When I type the commit, right, so it will take some time as it is a virtual lab, so you need to be there. See here, so commit is in progress. 99% percentage means which is going to be commit, but you can see here warning: no valid DNS security license, no valid licenses, no valid threat prevention licenses. So we don't have a license, so that's why it is going to be throw the warning. But however, the result is saved. You can see here the result is saved and detailed configuration committed successfully. See here. As of now, guys, if I go to the network, sorry, monitor in the session browser, I don't have any logs. See, it already a log was captured. Already a log was captured. Let me refresh this. I think some of the machines is trying to initiate, like it's trying to communicate to the 8.8.8. So that's why we are getting the log. See here. I'll clear this. I'll clear this. We don't have any logs, right? Now I'll open the VPC. This is my Linux PC. We'll try to hit internet. See in the backend Palo Alto Firewall, it is going to be generate the logs. See here. Now it is hit, right? So refresh this, you will see this is the logs. What it is going to do? It is just going to monitor passively. It is not going to disturb at all to your infrastructure. It is not going to disturb your existing network. It is just monitoring the things as well, how the traffic is passing. See here, session ID is 3. Okay, and we initiated the ICMP traffic, right? So see here, the timeout for this traffic is, I already discussed in the previous classes also. Go through those videos and you will get to know there are some default timers, right? For the ICMP, there is a 6 seconds is the default timer. So we initiated ICMP base of traffic and application. What application it is going to be used? It is going to be used as a ping, right? And the protocol number is 1. See the security policy, for which policy it is going to hit? Tap monitor policy, which we created. Clear? Everything is clear. Now here, source to C to S, client to server and server to client, the return traffic. Source zone is tab zone and the return zone also will be a tab zone because it's inter area, right? The source machine 1.10. So here our machine is what? 1.10 only. You can see the Linux PC machine IP address is 192.168.1.10. So from that machine, we initiated the traffic towards the destination is 8.8.8, which is captured. Source port is always random, guys. Okay, we have in the total ports are 65,535, right? In this ports, source ports will be always random, but the destination port will be on which port the destination server will be listened. That port you will be see here in the destination ports. But in the from port source is always random, but destination port is ICMP traffic used to be work on a port number. It is showing the port number 1. And what other things? States, flow, initial. Okay, we covered all the things. See here also the same thing. Here also the same thing. If you see now, so the ICMP default timeout is 6 seconds, right? If you refresh the logs, you will not see the logs now. Just go to the Palo Alto Firewall. You refresh this, you will not see. You will not see the logs because the session was disconnected. The session was disconnected. Now we'll try to initiate the traffic from this machine. We'll try to initiate from Windows machine. We'll verify. Earlier we initiated the traffic from here, right? We initiated the traffic from this machine. So whatever the traffic which is going towards the 8.8.8.8 server, which is on the Google server, right? Google server, it is hitting to there as well, but we are getting the one like copy of the traffic as well. Copy of the traffic span. So that's why we use here span to get the one copy of the same traffic. So we are getting the copy of the traffic and we are passively monitoring. The Palo Alto Firewall is here in the tap mode. In the tap mode, Palo Alto Firewall is passively monitoring the traffic. It's not doing any action. It's not taking any action. Now we'll try to initiate the traffic from here, this mission, okay, to the same thing 8.8.8, but the same thing we need to get one copy from this source mission to this destination, whatever the traffic is going, right? That same traffic we have to be get here as well. Let's try that as well. Once I'm opening here, so if I try to ping 8.8.8, okay, so it's pinging. You can go to the Palo Alto Firewall and refresh this. You will see the logs. See. See now, again the timeout is what? 6 seconds, right? The timeout is 6 seconds because it's ICMP traffic, right? Application is ping. We are using what application ICMP used to use? It's a ping. And the security policy is tap monitor policy. Client to server, it's a tab zone. It is going to use the tab zone. Source IP is 1.20. Destination is 8.8.8. While the traffic is returned from server to client, like from server to client, you can consider, don't be confused here. It is a Palo Alto firewall. See, user is sitting here. We have a 8.8.8.8 Google server over the internet. When the traffic is initiated from here to there, this will become source, and this is your destination, right? So this is what it is, C to S. This connection is C to S, means client to server, client to server. So the same thing, when you are getting the reply, right? When you are getting the reply, this traffic is S to C, server to client. So this time source IP will become 8.8.8 and the destination will become, so 1.20. See here, the source is what? Source is 8.8.8 and the destination is 1.20. So C to S means client to server connection, and S to C means server to client. Clear? So this is what the traffic we saw here. So even though if you refresh, it will be vanished. So I'll try to generate. I'll try to generate the traffic. I'll try to generate the huge amount of traffic because we need to. Now, what is the use of this? So I just hit enter here, and I hit enter here also, and I'll minimize this. I'll open the Chrome browser. Come on. Okay. I'll search for YouTube. I'll initiate the session for Facebook as well. Gmail. See, I can open the YouTube in the Windows machine. So where I'm here, I'm opening the YouTube in the Windows machine. Let me search our own channel, Network Ninja. See, we're getting our channel details, right? It will take some delay because it's running from my mobile network, right? So see here, so this is what our channel, recently we posted few of the videos. So this is our channel logo, right? So you got multiple videos. So if you see now, so you will get the multiple connections, guys. See here, see how many connections. See, Google base, YouTube base. See here, Google base traffic, Google base, quick traffic. You can see the YouTube also here. See, YouTube based traffic. Even you can filter like this. Once you click on this one, right? If you click here, you can filter only the YouTube based traffic. See, this is all the YouTube. This traffic, this you can see. I'll remove the filter, and this one you can take as a PDF. Okay, not from the CSV. You can take on the PDF and export that file. So once it's export, try to open that file. See, this is what the traffic which is generated. We we deploy the firewall in a Palo Alto in a tap mode, right? So we'll discuss about this. What is this virtual system, like the single VSS? That is a different thing. See here, the increased traffic and the decreased traffic. What it is? See, source zone also tab zone and the destination zone also tab zone. Source address. So we initiated the traffic from 1.20, right? And the destination IP address. See, this many destination IP address it used to be. Within a second, we generated this much of traffic, YouTube based traffic, Gmail based traffic, right? And the source interface and the destination interface both is same. And the data rates, you can see the data rates as well. So this you can share with your company, like your seniors. As you discussed, like I just deployed the Palo Alto firewall in the tap mode. Okay, so these are all the traffic which is going through from our network. These are all the traffic going through from our network. So this is what the useful scenario for POC, right? When you are doing the POC, right? This is a useful scenario. Whatever the traffic is going from your machine to the outside internet, that same copy used to be go from like this. So the Palo Alto firewall will also get the copy of the same traffic. Okay. So this is what your tap mode deployment. So generally in the Palo Alto deployment. So Palo Alto is going to support for different deployment modes. We done about layer 2 deployment. We done the lab as well, and we done the tap mode deployment, and we have remaining vWide V deployment mode and layer 3 deployment mode. Layer 3 deployment mode. So we done this one, guys. This one and this one, right? This is what the lab. I show you as well how we need to configure. So to summarize this, guys, okay, what we perform, okay, even though if you want to do the lab in your in your lab, what we done, right? So in the office router, I'll mention like this, okay. In the router RTR, what I configure, the first thing is basic configuration. Not here. We'll summarize here, guys, so that it will be noted down. I can share this notes. In the router, I done the basic configuration. Basic configuration which includes LAN and WAN interfaces, IP assignment, right? In the second step, we configure the default route towards ISP. Gateway. The third step, we created the access list to allow, right? Why we configured to allow the internet to the LAN subnet. Then in the fourth step, we configured NAT, network address translation, like which is a PAT, port address translation. So these are all the steps we done in the router. Then we jump into the switch, right? In the switch, okay, we configured the ports, span ports. The only one thing we configured: source span ports and destination span port. So in the source span port, as per our topology, see, we configured Ethernet 0/0, Ethernet 0/1,
0/1, sorry.
I think, let me see, even I also having out. Yeah,
0/1
0/1, 0/3, right? Okay. So we configured 0/1 and 0/3. And these are all the interfaces we configured as a source, and the destination span port, which is connected towards your Palo Alto Firewall, Ethernet
0/2.
0/2. So this thing we done in the this one, like the switch side. Now, if you ask me what configuration we done in the Palo Alto Firewall, so Palo Alto Firewall, the third thing is
We configured that mode.
a firewall. We configured the zone first, right? Zone as a tap zone. This is the first thing we done, and the second thing we identify the interface which is connected towards your switch, like which we configured this interface, right? The Ethernet 0/2 as a destination. So that interface. So Ethernet 1/1 in the Palo Alto side, okay, that we configured as a tap mode, right? Then we configure the security policy. That's it, guys. This is what we done. So based on this here, so in the router, basic configuration, LAN and WAN configuration, like LAN and WAN IP address assignment and the default route towards the ISP, access list. Because to configure the PAT, we require an access list, right? Again, tomorrow there will be one more subnet. We need not to be configure another net. We just need to add that subnet in the access list. So that's why we configure the access list. In the switch side, we configured as a source port and the destination span ports. And in the Palo Alto side, we configure the tap zone and the interface change as a type of the interface as a tap and the security policies. By seeing this, you can easily create the architecture. See here, without seeing the above architecture, we can easily create the architecture. See here, just router which is connected towards ISP, right? And this router is connected towards our LAN switch. Here we have a switch, and Two of the users are sitting here. One is Linux machine, the other one is Windows machine. Here we have taken 192.168.144.0/24 subnet, right? So here we have Ethernet 0/0, and here we have Ethernet 0/1. Here we have Ethernet 0/03. Now, in our scenario, the PA box is sitting here. This is our PA box, which is connected to the switch. This interface is our Ethernet 0.
0/2.
This is our Ethernet 1/1 in the Palo Alto. To take the management access, that's it. This is what our topology which we configured today. Any doubts, guys, still here in the tap mode deployment? Just let me know. If you have, we can explore.
No, sir.
Hi.
Thank you for this session. It was really
No.
a great session.
Thank you. So,
Very,
so
very
as we
good
discussed,
today.
the source code, basic, right? This all the things we verified. We take the session logs, right, from the session browser, and we capture the logs also. Now that log file we can share with our senior so that he can do the peer review. Then we can deploy the Palo Alto box directly here as an inline. As of now, in the tab mode, we don't have our Palo Alto box in inline. When we are going to deploy here Palo Alto box between generally the firewall, what is the example of the firewall, like the definition? So where we are going to deploy the Palo Alto firewall. Palo Alto is going to deploy not only Palo Alto, any firewall that we are going to deploy between the trusted and untrusted network, right? So we can deploy even here as well, right? Or here as well. So based on the requirement, we are going to be deployed. But the deployment mode of the tap mode is this. This is what you can achieve with the help of tap mode. We're just going to be passively monitoring the traffic. Passively monitoring the traffic. You are not going to do any action. It's not going to be manipulated. The Palo Alto is not going to manipulate your traffic. It's not going to shape the traffic.